Hello, I'm MC Knight. Welcome to the Dragon's Lair. This is episode 20. I came here to the slime farm that I built in the last episode because I wanted to get some more slime balls and some more slime blocks. And so I've got almost 2 shulker boxes full of slime balls. And so I should be in pretty good shape now and have a half decent supply. So this episode, if you watched the last episode, you're going to realize I want to build a sugarcane farm this episode. So I think I'm going to do this episode just a little differently than I have in the recent episodes. I'm not going to do a step-by-step tutorial, but I thought it'd be kind of neat to go through what my process is and how I go about building a farm. Basically from deciding what video I'm going to use to build the farm, basically what design I want to use, to collecting items, deciding where to build. And so I'm going to head back to the base and we're going to get started. I'm back at the base, and so when I decide to build a farm, the first thing I do is, if it's a farm that I don't really know how to build, and I do know how to build a sugarcane farm, the basic sugarcane farm with the observer and piston, that one's fairly easy. But I don't want to do one like that this time. I want one that's going to probably reap a whole lot more sugarcane per hour, because for this one I want it to be that it'll supply Rabbit Sphinx and I with sugarcane to use for rockets. So the first thing that I do on YouTube, what I will do is I will search like Minecraft Sugarcane Farm 1.20. And then I'll look at the different sugarcane farms that are in here. Like in some of these cases, it's going to be the normal where it's an observer and a piston, the standard sugarcane farm. And then every once in a while you come across one that is not just your normal standard one, like this one here from Hardship YT, and this one from Shulkercraft. And actually, if you go through, you'll find there's going to be several here that are using the slime flying machine. So it kind of ends up where a lot of them, it's either this design or this design. So in this case, I've already decided that I am going to use this farm, the Minecraft Sugarcane Farm 1300 per hour 1.20 plus by Shulkercraft. So then what I do is I will go, and to help make my decision, basically I will look at what the material list is, and we'll look at what the size of the farm is going to be. Trying to get past all these commercials. So in this case, here's the material list. And it doesn't look like anything's going to be all that difficult for me to get. I probably have most of those things, or I can easily get them. So there's not a whole lot of redstone involved in this. 3 observers, some redstone torches, redstone dust, comparator. So basically just some of the real simple stuff. You can see there's a hopper clock listed for it. So the next thing that I do is, once I look at the material list, I see, okay, how big is this build going to be? And in this case, it's 20 by 40. So once I've decided on the build, and the material list, the next thing that I do is I go to my base, and then I worry about collecting everything. Now in this case, I've already collected everything. So in these 3 shulker boxes, I have everything that's needed to build this sugarcane farm. So now I just wanted to clarify something. So the item list from Shulker Craft, from his video, basically it's listed and it's showing the items. And basically what I do is I go down the list item by item and fill it up in the shulker box that I'm going to be using, or the multiple shulker boxes. This way I go line by line, and that way I don't miss anything. So I've gone through YouTube, found the video that I want to use for my build. I've gathered all my resources. The next step is going to be deciding where to build this farm. So I know that it's going to be a 20 by 40 build, and I'm going to go up here on top of the roof just so that we have a good view for the most part. So now what I have done is basically some of the builds that I have done at this base, I knew ahead of time where I wanted to place them. I knew I wanted my sorting system right here. I said right from the start, I'm going to build my house here, and that's where the sorting system is going to go. When Rapid Sphinx and I started talking about a villager trading hall, we decided to use this area back in here. We had to do quite a bit of terraforming, and that's where we put the villager trading hall. You know, it was a pretty easy decision for that one. I said to Rapid Sphinx that I would like to build some farms going up around here. I want that to be a little more somewhat agriculture. So we had the bee farm. I have some cactus growing down here, some pumpkins, and the wool farm. For the cobblestone generator, basically in the back here, up in the top, you can see where all the podzol is, and I also have some crimson nylium and warp nylium back here. This is the area that I've always been chopping trees down. Up in here is where Rapid Sphinx is going to build his base, and we're going to share most of the farms. So when I decided to build the cobblestone generator, I knew that I wanted to put the tree farm up in here, which uses a TNT duplicator, and so does the cobblestone generator. And I thought, well, I'm going to make this area up in here be a little bit more the industrial area. So now, having said that, the problem is that sometimes I can't fly. Okay, well, we'll just do it this way then. So the problem with the sugarcane farm is that it's a 20 by 40 build, and there's not really any place up here unless I go up on top of the hill to build a 20 by 20 building. Now, I guess that could be a possibility. The other thing is I know I want to do some builds down here. I don't want to go too far that way because of the pillager outpost. And I think that if I build it there, that would put it probably down around here. And that's starting to get just a little bit too close. Plus, it's kind of back in the corner out of the way. And it would be a little more difficult to access. So that has left me with trying to look in this area through here. And if you'll notice, I have a torch right here, another one here, and there's another one out there. This is 20 blocks wide, and that's 40 blocks long, and so this area here would work. And so I think that's where we're going to build our sugarcane farm. So this area here is where the sugarcane farm's going to go. I wanted to leave enough space between the sugarcane farm and the villager trading outpost and the villager breeder, and still not go too far towards the sorting system, and that met all the criteria. So now that we have our video picked for the design of the farm, we have our materials picked, and we have our location picked, I think it's time to go ahead and start this build. So when I do a build that I'm using the video from YouTube, what I do is I have two monitors, and so I have Minecraft on my main monitor, and then I put the YouTube video on my second monitor. And so then what I do is I go ahead and I start the video to show what I have to do, and then I just follow along on the video. And so I'm going to go ahead and start working on this build, and I'll catch up with you shortly. It's a somewhat short time later, I'm able to have a sugarcane farm. As you can see, some of the sugarcane's growing. We have the flying slime machine here. It's set up off of a hopper clock here, and so as soon as this all goes over into this hopper, that flying machine's going to go across again, so that'll be in a fairly short period of time. So I have already collected all the sugarcane that has grown or has been down into the chest down there. And I don't have a great amount of chests down there. I just have the 3 double chests down there right now. I might add some if I think it's necessary. But I think we'll be checking this fairly frequently. And so I've got probably, I would say, about 11, 12 stacks of sugarcane already. So you can see the flying machine's going across. And I'm going to go down here and look. So I think this is, actually I got almost 2 stacks in there, and I just emptied this out before I started recording again. And so this farm is actually producing a good amount of sugarcane. This should supply Rapid Sphinx and I with sugarcane pretty well. So you'll see sometimes the sugarcane will come out here on the stone blocks, but when the mine carts go by, they do pick it up. Now there was one over here, I wasn't sure if it was going to get picked up by that or not, but apparently it did. And so now I'm going to collect this, and we're going to go in, and I'm going to show you just exactly where I'm at now with sugarcane. I have the sugarcane in this chest here, and you can see I am starting to get a good accumulation of sugarcane. So if we put that in there, so we've got 9 and 7 more stacks here. So that's 16 stacks of sugarcane, and another half. So we've got 16 and a half stacks of sugarcane now, so we should be in pretty good shape as far as fireworks are concerned. Now, the only thing I want to show you out here at the sugarcane farm, the only thing is this wall right here. So basically I want to fill in with dirt along here, and I'm probably going to bring this out a little bit, and then I'll probably bring this wall up to meet the glass with dirt. For the most part, the rest of it is pretty good. Around the back, it's a little bit off and needs to be fixed. And there's a little bit in the back here. So I'll show you here in just a moment. The back, I need to do some work back here to build everything up. And so I've actually been thinking about a number of areas here at the base, and I got some ideas. I want to do some path work. I started a little bit here on the path from the house over to the villager trading hall, just to kind of show a path. But I want to do some walkways and put some decorations up. I've kind of been waiting until I have a few more buildings, and then I want to do some work. I want to do some work for this entrance. There's in the city where I work, there is an area where they have a hill, and they have a walkway going up. And so what it does is it comes up a little bit in one pathway or one stair, and then it meets at a level spot, splits into two stairways going up, comes back together to one. And I was thinking, that would really work well here. So I think what I'm going to do is probably start down at this level here and start building the stairway up to where the wall is there, and then have it branch around on each side with the stairway going up and meeting up at the top there to the stairway going into the house. So I have some ideas on trying to do some work on making this area better looking. I've kind of neglected it, but like I said, I wanted to try to make some more farms and get some more buildings before I started really putting a whole lot of paths in and finalizing things, because some of that might change. But I think at this point, the sugarcane farm was a big build, and now I'm not really sure that I'm going to have too many more big builds. We want to do a carrot, wheat, and potato farm, but that's not exceptionally large, and I actually think that can possibly go up on the other side of the trading hall there. I haven't totally figured that out yet, but I still got a few more farms that I want to make before I start working on the pathways and everything at the base here. Anyway, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. We're going to end it here, just looking over the sugarcane farm. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I will catch you next time. Until then, I'm MC Knight.